Hello kids, today we're going to talk about the effects and precautions of weather. So effects of weather and precautions. What are you supposed to do before, after, and even during a typhoon or a cyclone? Okay. So effects of typhoons. Torrential rains may lead to flash floods, landslides, and damages brought by strong winds and rising of water level. So flash floods occur because of heavy downpour of rain on mountain areas. Kasi number one dyan talaga nag-start. See, even if you notice this area, they are dry. Dry naman, pero bakit? Bakit nagfa-flood? In this area, obviously, you can see that it's raining. And then, yun na nga, as you can see how much damage water can bring, flowing water can do to structures, no? So dito naman, if you can see, if you can observe, it has mga debris na sumasama along the flash flood. Flash floods may carry large debris such as branches, trunks, and even boulders. So, ang nangyayari kasi dito, if you can see as if it's just, there's no water at all, parang in this part, no? Parang as if parang walang tubig. But it's because of the debris that tends to allocate along the flow of water. Yun na nga, yung mga branches of trees, trunks as well. So nakikita nyo yung effect. And because of this, it makes even the situation more dangerous kasi marami na siyang sumasama sa kanya na mga heavy objects that can easily damage things along the way. Aside from just water alone. So meron na siyang, it now carries mga heavier objects that can bring more damage to certain things. Okay. So during these times, it is a disadvantage if you live near river banks. So kung pwede lang, sana, if you live near river banks, you already know what to do. Evacuate the area if you know that there will be a typhoon. Okay. Landslides. This basically happens when there's too much water being absorbed by the soil, no? So if you notice this area, too much water absorption. So ang nangyayari ngayon, nagiging soft na yung foundation in this area, in which it tends to slide down because of the weight due to gravity as well. So yun na. Ganun yung basic cause of landslides. Although even in some areas, kahit walang ulan, even though it's not wet, landslides can still occur because of yun na nga. Even without rain, landslide can occur if the base can no longer support the weight of the structure. Like in this case, kung mapapansin nyo, hindi na kaya yung movement, hindi na kaya ng foundation. So, wala na, magla-landslide na siya. So, in this case naman, along this landslide, kasali din yung boulder. If you notice, this boulder is about to crash that car. Good thing na lang na, wala na, nag-stop na siya, mag-roll. So, this is how landslides can bring damage to certain areas. Especially, just imagine if there are houses here. No? Well, most likely, baka meron talaga yung mga houses dyan. Or kung hindi man dyan, is the houses yung nandito sa area na to. So, this will basically destroy everything in just a snap of a finger. Parang ganun lang. Although it's not Thanos though, pero yun na. Strong winds can damage buildings and houses and uproot trees. That's actually true. Totoo yan. Kasi kung malakas laging hangin, walang mangyayari sa bahay nyo. Yes, you may have concrete walls, concrete foundation, pero yung roof ninyo masisira talaga sa very strong winds. We're talking about very strong winds here. We're talking about over like 200 kilometers per hour. Ganyang kalakas. Even this part over here, if you notice, yan, the whole structure na, made of steel yun ha. Made of steel yun, pero grabe, the strength of wind. And this may also uproot trees. So if you were parked there, imagine if there were people inside during this thing happened. This situation happened. So rest in peace to those who have suffered. So sana nga ay walang nangyaring masama sa mga tao doon during this time. And rising of water can bring damage to houses, lawns, cars, and other structures. So just imagine if this is your area, dyan kayo nakatira, tapos tumaas yung tubig, water level rose up to a certain point. So lucky those who are far from riverbanks, malas yung medyo malalapit sa riverbanks because at some point, water will stay there for quite a while. No, yung for some quite of time na mas madadamage yung mga if especially if your house is like may mga wooden parts, masisira talaga mga appliances ninyo. We're talking about general damage na dito, not just yung structure ninyo, even those that you have inside your house, such as yun na nga, mga appliances, mga gadgets ninyo and such. Cars, yan din ang number one, ang mga kotse. You need to spend a lot. So kung wala kayong pera during this time of emergencies, nothing will happen. Wala talaga mangyayari sa atin. You will literally be down. Wala talaga. Okay? So, precautions. Things that you should do before, during, and after a typhoon. So, meron tayong instructions. Technically, parang ganun. So, before, keep yourself updated with the various media platforms. So, yun na nga, may mga news tayo. Cell phones, we have yung Facebook natin on social media. You can like mga certain pages of news which you can bring or update you at some point. Televisions, which you can watch news, local news. Unfortunately, wala tayong local news dito ngayon sa atin, sa Zamboanga. It is next to impossible to not be updated of the supposed typhoon's movement. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, with everything that we have around us, it's quite impossible for us to not know what is happening around us. Okay? So, second is inspect and clean up your house, especially your drainage system. Because this, if your drainage system is clogged, most likely it will be easier for water to rise in your area. Kasi kung continuous water flow, so most likely madali yung flow of water, so less chances or you'll have more time to spare even before the water will rise to a certain level where hindi ka na makadaan. Okay, so store ample amount of ready to eat foods and water. So make sure na may stock kayo sa bahay, ready to eat. Well, I don't know if I know you're thinking of chips, yung mga mga Lays, mga Cheetos, pero we're talking about foods that enough to supply energy sa'yo for the whole day. Mga ready to eat. Okay. And of course, ang pinaka-importante sa lahat is yung water. Okay. Make sure that food and water that you will store is adequate enough for you and your family and will last for a few days. So don't just stock up for a day or two. Kung pwede mag-stock up kayo for like at least a week kasi you'll never know talaga what will happen if the worst will come. Okay. If you have second or third floors or any part in your house that is elevated, have your things, especially those that generate electricity, placed in there. This will help water from coming in contact with this stuff. So basically, yung ganyan talaga yung totoo. Totoo yan. Even dito sa amin, whenever there is it's raining hard kasi sadly we live near a riverbank. So pag malakas yung ulan, there's a chance na magfa-flood siya. Although the last time that was flooded here, 2013, 2014 pa. So yun na. Medyo delikado, so we tend to learn from experience and even before the worst will come, you have to be prepared. So yan ang ginagawa namin dito, nire-ready namin, inaakyat namin kahit yung mga sofa namin, inaakyat namin using mga stool chairs, mga ganun, para hindi masira kasi masisira yung wood ng sofa and foams. Okay, and of course it will become smelly if it gets wet. So, and most importantly, if you're advised to evacuate, please do so. Pag sinabi ng authority na evacuate, look for another place, please do so. Kasi if not, kayo rin ang suffer. Okay? Always have your emergency kits with you. Your emergency kit may include first aid supplies, candles, flashlights, life vest, and battery-operated radio. That's actually very important din kasi syempre, power outage. So, if there'll be a power outage, no power for, let's say, a day or two, worse, 3 to 4 days, walang kuryente na, at least there's something that you can listen to be updated about the typhoon, at least. So during an earthquake, if no advice to evacuate was announced, then better stay inside your house. Keep yourself calm and postpone any scheduled travels. Stay at home. Stay with your family. Go to elevated areas nyo sa house nyo. If you like what sinabi dito, if you have second floors, third floors, stay there. Elevated areas. Okay. Pero advice ko na siguro, not near yung mga, kasi syempre nakita nyo na kanina yung power of wind, what it can do. So siguro better yet to stay dun sa pinakababa nyo. Then if ever there will be a flood, then that's the time that you're going to go up. Okay. So keep on monitoring the typhoon's movement through your television, radio, or the internet. Hopefully nga, may power pa during that time. If you see signs of water rising, better turn off the main sources of electricity. That is correct. Ask your parents kung saan yung mga main sources ninyo, just in case this will happen, na kayo lang yung nasa bahay, at least you know what to do. Why? Because if you notice around your house, your outlets where you connect yung mga plugs nyo, it is possible for water to reach that level. So if you will not turn off the main source of electricity, it is possible for you to get electrocuted. So mamamatay tayo dyan. Okay? So do not wade along flooded areas to keep yourself from contacting waterborne diseases. Ibig sabihin, don't roam around. Wag na kayo pumunta sa mga flooded areas kasi you don't know what yung mga diseases that you can get, such as yung mga leptospirosis na yan. Yan yung pinaka-deadly na as far as I know that you can get. Slow killer. Slow killer yan siya. Kasi you will never know until a few weeks, at least a week or two, na nandyan na pala sa katawan nyo, then eventually you will die slowly if hindi na agapan ng maaga. So better yet, wear protective gears such as raincoats and boots to protect yourself. As long as, especially if you have open wounds, iwasan nyo na if you have open wounds kasi these are the entry point of this mga mga waterborne diseases rather. Okay. So if you are told to evacuate, please do comply. Okay. So yun na nga, mag-evacuate kayo with the use of yung mga protective gears ninyo, such as yung raincoats, boots. Yung pinaka-importante ang boots rin. Okay. So after the typhoon, monitor and update yourself with the progress of the typhoon through radio, television, or the internet. It should be accessible kung meron. Kasi nga, you'll never know after the typhoon, aftermath, matutumba yung mga poste, wala tayong internet, wala tayong kuryente. So, in that case, yun na yun, you will rely with your battery-operated radio. If your house was one of the heavily damaged, make sure that you heed to advice of the authorities regarding its safety and stability. And be safe in inspecting your house and avoid scattered debris. So, mga debris. Sorry, I think I mispronounced debris kanina. It's supposed to be debris. Nawala sa isip ko. I'm very sorry about that. I apologize for that pronunciation. Okay. So anyway, watch out for live wires or any electrical outlet that may be submerged in water. Kasi baka accidentally you will be able to restore power na kaagad sa house ninyo, not knowing that submerged pa pala kayo, especially yung paa nyo nasa tubig. Then open wires there. So live wires there. So it can somehow kill you. Okay. So then again, I'm apologizing for the pronunciation earlier. It's debris, not debris. I don't know why I mentioned debris. Okay. So wear protective gear such as boots. Waterborne diseases such as leptospirosis do not only spread out during typhoon but also after the typhoon. Of course, kahit wala na namang typhoon, as long as water is present and it's dirty, you'll never know if it is contaminated with leptospirosis or not. So boil water before drinking as they may be contaminated. Although for nowadays mga sa Philippines, most households naman ngayon may mga safe drinking water naman talaga tayo na binibili sa mga water refilling stations. Okay, the next is of course to clean up disposed things that may be a ground for mosquitoes to breed, such as stuff may include tires, cans, or pots. So, clean up everything. Yan ang best thing to do after, of course, because wala naman tayong choice. Tayo lang talaga maglilinis niyan. I have experienced that it was after a flood. So, yun na. It took like a day or two to fully clean and a few more days to fully recover with the exhaustion psychologically with the situation that you are in. So I hope that you did not have any bad experiences with typhoons, and hoping that you won't experience these situations in the future. So anyway, that is it for this week.